Good morning, good morning, good morning, my beautiful bunnies who listen. Okay, so we are going to be working on dividing fractions. So since we are going to be dividing, that means you have to keep, change, flip on every single one of these problems. I'm also going to draw models on all of them so that you can visualize what this is asking you to do. Okay, so there are 4 gallons of milk. How many half gallons of milk is that? How many half gallons of milk are there? What I want you to do, I want you to draw the 4 gallons of milk. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to divide them in half, each one of them. Half, 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 half. So this is a half, this is a half, 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 and half, and half. And so even if we didn't do anything else, we could see that there are 8 of them. There are 8 half gallons. But I'm going to teach you how to keep, change, flip. So you've got 4 gallons of milk being divided into 1/2 gallons. So you're going to turn this into a fraction. You're going to keep the first fraction, change that to multiplication, and flip that one. So keep the first one, change division to multiplication, and flip 1/2 to 2/1. And then you can multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. And 8 divided by 1 is 8. So your answer for this is 8. And you have a picture that supports that answer. Next one. Diana practices the piano for 3 hours each week. All right, good for you. All right. So it says that she practices 1/2 an hour on each of those days that she practices. So you're taking the total of how much she practices each week and you're dividing it by 1/2 an hour to figure out how many days that is, okay? So it's 3 hours total divided into 1/2 an hour each day, and that will tell you how many days she practiced. Okay, so you've got to you're going to, again, keep, change, flip. So you're going to make 2 fractions. So this is 3 divided by 1, and this is 1/2. And then you're going to keep, change, flip it. I'm going to keep the first fraction, 3/1. I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip 1/2 to 2/1. And when I multiply, 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And 6 fraction bar 1 means 6 divided by 1, which is 6 days. Okay, so she practices 6 days a week. And if you think about it, if you practice for 1/2 an hour for 6 days, that would total 3 hours. All right, next one. How many half-cup servings fit in this measuring cup? So what do you have in your hand? You have this cup here. So that is what you're dividing up. You have to take what actually you have. So take your 3 cups and you're going to divide it into 1/3 cup servings. So if you had 1, 2, 3 cups and you were going to divide it into thirds, how many thirds would you get? Well, I see that I get 9 when I do that, but let's see if when I keep, change, flip, I get the same thing. So since it's division, you are going to keep, change, flip. So you're going to turn this into a fraction as well because you can't keep, change, flip unless you have 2 fractions. So you're going to keep the first fraction as 3/1. You're going to change division to multiplication and flip 1/3 to 3/1. And when you multiply, you get 9/1, which is 9, because 9 divided by 1 is 9. All right, next one. A father took a bite of a candy bar that left only 3/5 for his children. He split the remaining amount between his 2 children. What fraction of the entire candy bar did each child receive? Okay, so you've got a candy bar here. I'm going to divide it into fifths. I like drawing pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4 will give me fifths. Okay, so the dad bit some of it off and it left only 3/5. So you got, this is a fifth, this is a fifth, This is a fifth, 1/5, and 1/5. And Dad took a bite that left only 3/5 left. So he took that bite, he bit this part off, right? But you've still got this part left. You've got 3/5 left. And he's splitting this right here between his two children. So you can take a little line and divide it because he's going to split that between his two children. So what fraction of the entire candy bar is that? So you can draw a little line out here just like this. So you're taking 3/5, that's what you actually have in your hand, and you're dividing it between two children. So here we go. We're going to keep, well, first off, we've got to make it so this is two fractions. So you have to put a 1 under here because 2 divided by 1 is the same thing as just plain 2. All right, so putting the 1 under there doesn't change its value. So we're going to keep the first fraction. It's 3/5. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip over 2/1 to 1/2. And now you can multiply. So 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. Each kid is going to get 3/10 of the entire candy bar, which makes sense because this thing got divided into 10 pieces and each kid is going to get 3 of those. So 3/10 of the entire candy bar. Next one, Samara has 5 yards of ribbon. That's what she has in her hand. She has 5 yards. I like to always underline what they actually have. Okay, she wants to cut the ribbon into pieces. So I'm going to draw this. She has a 5-yard piece of ribbon. So this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is 5 yards. This is 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, and 5 yards. Okay, and she wants to cut the ribbon into pieces that are 1/4 of a yard long. So each yard is going to be split into 4 pieces. So 1, 2, 3 gives you 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So each yard is divided into 4 pieces. So this is 4 pieces, this is 4 pieces, this is 4, this is 4, this is 4. Each yard is divided into 4ths. So how many pieces did you end up getting? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 is 20, but let's do the math. So you have 5 yards and you're dividing it into 4ths, okay? We're going to keep, change, flip, just like always. Keep, change, flip. We're going to keep the first fraction as 5/1. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip 1/4 to 4/1. Now we're ready to multiply. And when we do, we get 20/1, which is equal to 20. 20 divided by 1 is 20. All right, moving on to Caleb. Caleb bought 2 pounds of trail mix in a large bag. So what does he have? He has 2 pounds of trail mix, okay? He wants to put 1/8 of a pound serving of the trail mix into small bags. How many small bags can he make? So let's draw a little picture. This is his 2 pounds, okay? So he's got, this is a pound, and this is a pound. All right, that says 1 lb, which means 1 pound, 1 pound. All right, so he's got 2 pounds. He wants to divide each of these up. He wants to put 1/8 of a pound into tiny little bags. So he's splitting up each of these pounds into 8ths. So draw 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do it again over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's divided the pounds into 8ths. So if you've got 2 divided into 8ths. So you're going to keep the first, first off, you're going to make this a fraction because you cannot work with it until it's a fraction. Then you're going to keep, change, flip because this is division. So 2/1, then you're going, because you're keeping the first fraction. You're changing division and multiplication, and then 1/8 turns into 8/1, giving you he could make 16 small bags because 16 over 1 is 16. He could make 16 small bags because he has 16 eighths inside of a pound, inside of 2 pounds. All right, next one. The Greenberg Community Center is sponsoring a 1/2 mile race. So the entire race is a 1/2 mile. Okay, so you could start at 0 and it would go a 1/2 mile. Okay, there are 6 water stations spread equally over the course of the race. What is the difference between the water stations? Okay, so you start here, you've got 0, you've got 1, and then this is a 1/2. Okay, so it's a 1/2 mile race. There are 6 water stations spread equally over the course of the race. So what I want you to do is, since the race is a 1/2 mile, draw 5 lines in between to split it up equally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is a water station, this is a water station, this is a water station, water station, water station. And then there's another one right here at the end of the race. Okay. But what we want to know is, how far are they spaced apart out of a whole mile? So go ahead and draw 5 more here. All right. So it's out of the whole mile. How far are these spaced apart? So if you've got a 1/2 mile and you're dividing it equally into 6 water stations, let's divide. So I'm going to keep the first fraction as a 1/2. Don't forget to put your 1 under your 6. Then I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip this to 1 over 6. Now I can multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 2 is 12. So each water station is 1/12 of a mile. And that makes sense because there are 12 lines on here. 1/12, 1/12, 1/12, 1/12. Okay, each one of these little sections is a 1/12 of a mile. Okay, so even though you're only running half, it's 1/12 of the whole mile. Okay, there is your answer, 1/12. And remember that 1/12 is not the same thing as 12 over 1. 12 over 1 is 12. 1/12 is 1 out of 12. Sorry, I was taking some water. All right, how many quarters are there in $20? Okay, so, this one is kind of hard to explain, but here we go. So what you have to do is you have to think to yourself, how much is a quarter? A quarter is 1/4 of a dollar. So it's literally asking you, how many fourths are there in 20? Well, what do you have in your hand right now? What do you have? You have $20. So you are dividing the 20. So if I've got $20 and I want to divide it into fourths, I'm trying to figure out how much that is. Okay, so here we go. So we know that $1 equals 4 quarters. So we want to know how many quarters are there in $20. Well, it would make sense that it would just be 4 times 20, but let's see. Okay, so we've got 20 divided into fourths. So I've got 20 over 1, because I'm going to keep the first fraction the same. Then I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip 1/4 to 4 over 1. 20 times 4 is 80. 1 times 1 is 1. And 80, fraction bar 1, means 80 divided by 1, which is 80. So there are 80 quarters in $20. That's a lot of quarters. All right, next one. A family has 3 boxes of Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Each box is separated into 2 equal packs. How many of these packs are in all 3 boxes? So you've got 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes. Each one of them is separated into 2 equal packs. Okay, so that gives you there are 6 equal packs. Each one of them is a half, a half, a half, and there are 6 of them. So there's 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here, giving you 6. But let's do the math. So if I've got 3 divided into 2 equal packs, which would be 3 divided into halves. Not 3 divided by 2, 3 divided into halves. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to turn this into a fraction so then you can keep, change, flip it, because every division problem is keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep this as 3 over 1. I'm going to change that to multiplication, and I'm going to flip 1/2 to 2 over 1. And what do I get? I get 6 over 1, which is 6. 6 divided by 1 is 6. Next one. Lucy baked a loaf of banana bread. She took half of the loaf to school. She wanted to share the banana bread equally among her 6 friends without keeping any for herself. What fraction of the loaf did each friend get? Okay, so here's the whole loaf. Draw the whole loaf. And this part right here is the part that she took to school. I'm going to highlight that part. This part right here is the part that she took to school, okay? And what she does is she's going to divide it between 6 friends. She's not going to give herself any. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there are the pieces that her friends get. But it wants to know what fraction of the whole loaf. So remember that you have to extend these lines out, and I like to dot them, because I want to know what fraction of the whole loaf. So just this part right here, just this teeny tiny part, how much is that worth? Well, that's 1 out of 12 of the whole loaf, but let's divide it. So we've got 1/2 a loaf of bread. That's what's in her hand, and she's dividing it between 6 friends. And again, you have to keep, change, flip. So I'm going to make it 2 fractions first. I'm going to take 6 and turn it to 6 over 1, because 6 divided by 1 is 6. I'm going to keep. I'm going to change this to multiplication, and I'm going to flip 6 over 1 to 1/6. And I get 1/12. And that is exactly what we said. We said that each kid would get 1 out of 12 of the whole loaf. All right, next one. Jamal, this one's for you. Jamal ordered 4 pizzas. Sorry, I need some more water. Jamal ordered 4 pizzas. How many slices of pizza did Jamal order if each slice is 1/8 of a pizza? Okay, so you've got 4 pizzas. And remember, I told you don't ever draw any circular pizzas. You draw rectangular ones. You get the ones from Pizza Hut, okay? Or Pizza Inn, I believe they've got the rectangular pizzas. Okay, and you're dividing each one of these into an 1/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one has 8 pieces. 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 Each one of the pieces is an 1/8. So that means 8, 8, 8, 8, which is 32 slices of pizza. But let's do our math. So what do you have in your hand? You have 4 pizzas, and you are dividing them into 1/8. Okay, so we're going to keep, change, flip again. So you're going to keep the first fraction as 4 over 1. You're going to change and then flip. So keep 4 over 1, 4 over 1. Then you're going to take the division, turn it to multiplication, and you're going to flip this over. So 1/8 is 8 over 1. When you multiply, you get 32 over 1, which is 32. There is how many pieces of pizza you would get if you divided 4 pizzas into 1/8. And the last one, a piece of lumber for building a house is 8 feet long. So here it is 8 feet long. So this is 0 and this is 8. Divided into 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That gives you 8 pieces. How many pieces that have a length of a 1/2 foot can be made? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is 8 foot. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to divide each of these feet into half. Half a foot, 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 half a foot. So how many half-foot sections is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Miss Ross, it's 16. Let's do the math. And I'm going to have to squeeze it into this little sad little part right here. So if I have 8 feet and I'm dividing it into 1/2 foot sections, oh, not 1/12, 1/2 foot sections. All right, so I'm going to keep, change, flip. I'm going to keep the first fraction as 8/1. I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip this so that it is 2/1 instead of 1/2. Then I can multiply. I get 16/1, which equals 16, because 16 fraction bar 1 means 16 divided by 1. Okay, so you would get 16 half-foot sections. All righty, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.